Hey guys, welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and is blood something you've always wanted to swim and play in? Well, if it is, then today is the perfect episode for you. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today we are going to jump right back in where we left off, and we have a lot of stuff to do. I did go ahead and fill up the rest of my blood extractor. We are going to really focus on this today. We have a lot of stuff that actually uses blood as we start to progress further on. So we're going to go ahead and continue here. We left off where we needed to make a blood infusion core, and that way we can sort of head on in this direction, which I'm really stoked for this part in particular, which would be getting ourselves a pretty decent storage system set up, which is exactly what I'm kind of waiting for. So let's talk about the infusion core. So what we're going to need here is a dark power gem. Now, this guy is going to require us to take some blood, and it says 5 because we do need specifically 5. This right here is kind of one of those things that is not the easiest thing in the world to do, but we do have to do it. It is not the easiest thing in the world. So let's figure out how we can set this up. Let's go ahead and find our dark gems. They are laying around here somewhere. There. All right, so we're gonna have to take this whole thing, and it does say specifically how much we need. Let's take a look here. Right here. So it does say we need specifically 5 buckets of this stuff, of this blood. Now the problem is when you place blood in the overworld, it has a tendency to coagulate or get hard. So we're gonna have to figure that out as well. All right, so let's see. We do know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be the way to go. I don't know if this is like meaning 5 straight up. We might be able to do that as well. So that would be interesting. So if we go 5 up, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we picked one up. 4. Right there. Oh, now we're starting to take damage. All right, so you can see right here that we already have an issue. It is already hardened at the top, and that's what we're trying to avoid. But throwing that in should work. Hopefully. That's the goal. It might have to be actually in a specific pull. Let's try making a pull for this that holds it in a specific way, because otherwise we're gonna have this issue happen. You can see this is what the coagulated stuff looks like. But luckily when you break it, it does turn back into the liquid form, and which we can pick it back up. Okay. So let's try this. So it needs specifically 5, it said. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So just like that. And there we go. That consumed all 5 buckets that was in here. So what we need to do is actually farm some more, because in order for us to push on and to get this, we're also going to need some of these shards. And to do that, we need the hardened blood itself, which we're going to get by placing blood inside of our drying basin. So I'm going to go ahead and farm up our spiders. I do want to show you the sort of mob farm that I worked on building. It is super simple. But it is very effective. So what we have is just a ring that is around it, much like a normal mob spawner. So it is 4 blocks away in all side directions. But basically it gives me a spot here from which the spiders can't really bother me too much, but I can still farm them fairly easy. So I'm going to set here, farm them up a little bit, and I'll be back. So now that I have restored my blood extractor, we're going to go ahead and dump that in here. And what that's going to do is it's going to coagulate for us, And this time we'll be able to actually pull it out instead of breaking it in game, thus sort of rendering it, sort of putting it back into blood. So I'm going to let that go ahead and finish. I guess while it's doing that, we can go ahead and take a look at some of our paste, the mutation paste that we have. There we go. That is now finished. And this should be able to be broken down into shards after we smelt it. So let's give it a little bit of fuel to smelt. I don't know if I have any more left over. I guess we could always throw in some carrots. We can always cook up some carrots. Here we go. Perfect. More charcoal. You'd think I'd have tons of charcoal by this point. Alright, so that's going to go ahead and let that finish. Until then, let's go ahead and take a sapling. And we can take this paste, and inside our crafting table, that will give us some lily pads. What we're going to do with these lily pads is use some of these cinder leaf, and that's going to give us some of these lava lilies. I'm assuming they can actually function by being placed on lava. Don't quote me on that. I have not tried to place them, so I don't actually know fully. Alright, so next in our list is going to be bone meal. Yeah, we're going to need a little bit of bone meal. And honestly, I don't have a knife anymore. So, I wonder how bad it would be to make a knife. Actually, you know what? Let's just make one out of diamond. Why not? The best knife you can get is a diamond knife. Now, it'd be really nice if you could get more bone meal out of these, or more of the flesh. If, let's say, I don't know, the nicer the material is, maybe it would do less damage to you, because technically it's sharper, and thus, in reality, a sharper knife does less damage to you. I mean, that would be something I would hope for, but you can, as you can tell, that's not exactly the case. Yeah, so I'm gonna need a bit of this bone meal. Now I do have some of this bone here, in which I can throw in this grinder, and that is going to get us a lot more. Let's go ahead and take that, and we'll kind of boost that up. So yeah, that's going to get us some more bone meal, and what we're trying to make is the obsidian skull. We have just about everything. All we're going to need now is some obsidian, which I have a ton of obsidian laying around somewhere. That's why I can't wait to have my inventory system, so I can just sort and find exactly what I'm looking for, because I know I have it. There it is. It's just a matter of finding it. Alright, so the ingots are pretty simple. They're just iron nuggets surrounding obsidian, and then that just needs to get cooked. And we need 4 of those. So yeah, just a lot of crafting, at least in this part. Just a whole bunch of crafting and kind of making sure you know what task you're working on. And we're going to need 4, I believe, for this. That's going to get us a regular skull. And yeah, the diamond thing still popping up, it's just an issue. I know a lot of people were messaging or mentioning that in the comments of why that was going on, but I have no idea. Alright, so let's go ahead and make our blood infused crystal now that we have our stuff ready to go. All we need to do now is put a gem in there, and that gets us a blood infused crystal. Perfect. This is going to give us another a choice reward. I want the oscillating gears, as that is going to make this thing go even faster. Having more spawn is not necessarily the best thing right now. I would prefer to just have this thing spin up faster, and I should be able to reach it from here, which is the good part about it being there. So yeah, it should just go just a slight bit faster, which is exactly what I want. Alright, so I'm going to leave that alone because I'm not too interested in it at the moment. We need to really focus on some other things. So now that we have this going, we need to start looking at what it's going to take to fully make a blood infuser. Now we're going to need another infusion core, I believe. No, wait, we still have the infusion core. Okay. So yeah, everything we're making is going to lead up to this point, right? So what we need to work on now is these 2 things. So in order to make the carved dark stone bricks and to make the Eternus I've been pronouncing things pretty wrong through most of this playthrough, which a lot of you guys have been saying is quite hilarious. But a furnace, right? Am I saying that wrong? I don't know. You guys always let me know down in the comments below if I'm saying something wrong. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things in here that I'm probably saying completely wrong. But anyways, the rune, this one's pretty simple, but it does have a couple steps that we're going to need to make. So the rune stone itself, right? It needs liquid souls. In order to get liquid souls, we need to take the mysterious dust block and place that underneath these pillars here. And then temporarily, I'm just going to place some slabs on the bottom sections. And this is going to allow us to maintain the fluid that is down there and just make it a little easier for us. So let's go ahead and grab some of the mysterious dust. We can place that under here, and that's going to begin to start working. And what we're looking for is it to be converted into a fluid, which is going to be perfect. So as soon as that's converted into a fluid, then we're going to have a few things we can throw in here, such as ancient gravel, which, if you noticed, is up here. So yes, I did go ahead and put some ancient gravel up here. And that was intentional. So I just threw some gravel with the Hourglass of Nostalgia because I knew that was going to be coming up. And this right here gets you some ancient gravel. Alright, so let's see. Do I have anything else that was cooking up? There we go. That was working. Alright, that should go ahead and get us the skull. Now, this thing, while we hold it, gives us fire resistance. So we're probably going to end up making another one later on, just because it's going to help us when we do other crafts. The ones that require us to be set on fire, like the cinder leaf, is very, very helpful for that. Alright, so we're really just waiting on this to convert. And then that's about it. Oh, we get another thing right here. I'm going with the oscillating gears. I don't know about you guys, but I think making that thing faster is honestly going to make my life a lot easier. Alright, and the other thing is going to be taking those Inferno crystals that we made a long time ago and I don't think ever used. They've got to be in one of these chests. We may have to remake the Inferno crystals. I do remember making them. I don't remember what we used them on. That is a thing. I could be looking right over them. Inferno... Inferno crystals. Let's see. By the way, this is a great way to search your inventory, even though I could be using this. Nothing. Okay. So with that being the case, we just need to remake them. The Inferno dust is going to require some carbon, some of the ash, and blaze powder. Which I think I have some blaze powder remaining. There's some blaze powder. And I do have some blaze rod. And I think our was it carbon dust? No, it wasn't carbon dust. Yes, carbon dust. And ash. And I don't think I have too much ash laying around. But we can go ahead and get that made. There we go. There's some ash. Perfect. Go ahead and make some of this. I'm going to make a few of them. And then we need to... oh, put them in the reassembler. There we go. So I'll throw that in the reassembler. And then we're going to be able to utilize this inside our atomic reshaper with just a tiny little bit of the primordium. Tiny, tiny, tiny amount. Alright. I think we have our primordium laying around. Oh, look at that. Our stuff is ready to go, which means we can throw this in here. Should be able to reach in there. There we go. Same with this. Gotta land it just right. There we go. And now we can pick this up. And this drops the crystals that we need. Looky there. And as you can see, the crystals are going to be used for some other crazy stuff. Not the battle axe in particular. But it's going to be used for crafting the blood infuser. Alright, so one other thing that we have to do in order to get this blood infuser, which does take a little bit of time to get, is going to be the onyx up here. We are going to need the shard of the soul of fire. And some cobblestone. There we go. And then that compressed, I believe. Or is it just cooked? Let's take a look. Because we need this. This comes from the dark stone. Ah, which is that just thrown into the fire. Okay. So yeah, like I said, sometimes you got to be careful on your recipes because some things lead into several different paths. Just got to be careful. There we go. That has been converted. And then if we take a look at what this is used for, it is used to be converted into those bricks. And then the bricks get converted again. And there we go. Wow. A lot of steps. A lot of steps to get that done. But it's well worth it in the end. Alright, so our last step is to throw this up here. Let's see. We only need 2 of those. We got to get this thing ramped up. I believe I have some dust laying around in here somewhere. Man, that's why I'm really pushing for that inventory system. Because that's going to make my life a lot easier. There we go. We have it on us. So we're going to throw that in there. We need to give this a little bit of primordium. In which I should have laying around. Over here, apparently. And one should do the trick. We should be able to throw that in there. That's going to give us way more than enough. And we just got to let that heat up. So, I'll be right back once that's heated up and ready to go. So, now that this is all ready to go, let's go ahead and pull that out. Perfect. We should be able to now craft our blood infuser. Or blood infusion. I don't know why I keep saying infuser. So, blood infuser, craft, and voila. We have now crafted our lovely blood infuser. I know, it sounds really gross, and it actually is pretty gross. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. And what we can do is actually empty our blood extractor out, and we can fill this up with blood. So, yeah, pretty good, right? We also probably want the gears to make it go faster. Alright, so leading into all of this, right? We get into embers, right? We can now branch into embers, which I absolutely love embers. This is a very confusing, I don't know, part to get ember crystals, but ember crystals themselves supply a lot of power for this mod. But what I'm more interested in is moving along this line, getting ourselves Enderman soul book, which is actually not too difficult, and then getting the promise of tenancy or tenancy 2, and we have tenancy 1. So we have both of these things. Now tenancy 1, both of these have a kind of a weird thing they have to go through. So spider eyes and then the bowl of promise. Yeah, that is kind of weird. So we have a filled bowl of empty promise, which requires 5,000 blood. We have to first craft that, which is crushed dark gem in a bowl of empty promise, which requires dark power gems, I hope this bowl's reusable, by the way. So crushed dark gem is, of course, just literally pulverizing dark gem. Now, you can get a bonus crushed dark gem by chance if you use a squeezer, but you're probably best off just getting it straight from a dark gem. So, with that being said, we can go ahead and start to try and craft this and go ahead and get this process started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kill some more mobs, get some more blood filled in here, because we're going to need 3, quote me, 3 of these things full. So I'm going to work on getting 3 of the gems, the dark gems, right? So 3 dark gems, which is required for the bowl, and which this is going to require 15 millibuckets of blood. I'm going to work on getting the dark gems, and then we're going to start our process of slowly but surely making this stuff, right? That's what we're going to work on. So, I'll be back. So, I was completely wrong about the dark gems, right? So, you can actually take the dark gems. I'm going to take the promise out. And you can place them in here, and they're going to use way less. It's only going to use 250 millibuckets. Like, I totally over thought this whole process. But we are going to need 3 of those, because that's how we're going to make the bucket. So keep that in mind. But this is a way easier process than I was originally thinking. Having the blood infuser just makes it so much easier. So once we get that done, I already have, yes, the dark gems crushed up here. We do have some backup blood in case we don't have enough. And of course, this was the biggest consumer of all of the blood, as it requires, a lot. So now that we have this done, we should be able to blast forward into the bowl here, and then we do this number, and that will get us a bowl filled with empty promises. Yes, empty promises. So what can we do with the empty promises bowl? Well, we can literally just place it inside here, and it is going to make what we need. Now, there is other things that we could use, I think later on, that we can upgrade this with, but really what we're working towards getting is literally just this right here. So I really want this because, as you know, I'm trying to get to this section. So let's see, we just need this and the spider eye, and we can go ahead and get that, and that's going to ask us to make the next step, and which is actually pretty easy. So all we're waiting on is this. While we wait, it's wanting us to make an Enderman book. So that is going to be the next step. The book is up there. We already know how to make the book, as we have made it in the past. Let's see, is that done? Almost. And done. Alright, so there's our bowl of promises. Last thing we need to do is we need to utilize this. So let's go ahead and take one of our spider eyes, and voila! We just finished this section right here. And that is going to lead us into embers and all that other good stuff. Alright, so we get some more blood, and I still want to speed this thing up, so we're going to go with more oscillating gears. Alright, so the Soul Book of Enderman is what we're going to work on next. And we need to make the Soul Book, which means we need to make a book, and we need to have paper, and all that good stuff. In which I do have paper, and if I remember, glue. All these different recipes, it's hard for me to remember everything. Which is just sugar. And a piece of sugar, and what was the other thing? Ender dust, right? No, bone meal. Where is the bone meal? That's right, we used it all. Correct? Correct. Pretty sure I used it all. There it is. So we just throw that in. That'll make our glue. Perfect, and we can go ahead and make a new book. Ah, we get to reuse the bowl. That's what I was wanting to hope. That's what I was hoping we would get to happen. Alright, so there's our book, and we need to craft that with a piece of this, which we chop with the axe. A piece of ender dust. Correct. That gets a new soul book. And that with the Enderman gets us a book of Enderman, in which completes this chapter. And I'm going to go with more for the speed. Okay, so currently we have a setup that will support Enderman. The only thing I need to do is just raise the roof a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get the roof raised. That's going to take me just a second. I literally just need to raise this roof because this current setup will work perfect with Enderman. We just need to make this roof a little bit taller, and it will be perfectly fine. Last part of today's episode, and that is going to be after we transform this roof, making it tall enough for Enderman to spawn. That's right. We need to break down this bad boy. And remember, shift right clicking pulls everything out of the spawner, so that way we can place our new book in, which has Enderman in it. And we can also throw in our new gears. Throw in all the gears, since it makes it super fast. Oh, I guess if we overclick, it'll pull all of them out. There we go. And so there's 10% souls remaining, but that should be plenty. And what we should be able to do is let the Enderman build up. I mean, make sure we don't look at them. Of course, we're going to stand in this general area here to be able to hit them. But they should be just fine in this cage that they're in. It does look like it's going to take a little bit of time to spawn. So yeah. Oh, looks like you can insert this into the machines for blood. That's nice. I wonder how much that actually generates. Probably a good amount. So, with that being said, this is the last thing that we're going to have to make, and that is upgrading this bad boy. We need a Bowl of Promise 2, which is, or 1, Strength 1. Bowl of Promise Strength 1, which is, this guy, which we just made this. So, and we need another bowl filled with empty promises. And this is a blood infuser. Now, this says machine tier upgrade, also usable for lower tier recipes. So I'm guessing there are some upgrades for the blood infuser. That's interesting, because I don't actually remember doing those. So I'm guessing we're going to have to put, I guess that's what we made. This is a machine tier upgrade. Uh-oh. That Enderman spawned exactly where I did not want him to spawn. Oh well, we're going for it. We're going for it. Mono to mono. You ain't got nothing on me. Ha ha ha. Nice. Alright, so we ended up getting Enderbone from that. Don't ask me what this actually does. Oh, we can make more gears. Oh, nice. And yeah, I want to see. Is this thing... Oh, it is. That's the upgrade. So, oh, that's in there. Oh, we can't pull that out. Uh-oh. That's in there forever. Look how much that increased our blood output. Okay. So, the only thing I need to do, I guess, is 2 more of those. Need to go inside there. That can cook down. That's going to grind those down a little bit more. And guys, I think by next episode, we're going to have quite a bit to do. Look at that. It just adds just a bit of blood there. Does it? Just a little bit. Just a little bit of blood. So yeah, this is our upgrade. And yeah, all we're going to have to do is I'm going to finish this up probably off camera. In next episode, we're going to be getting into mineral saplings. That's right. We're going to be doing some of this bad boy stuff. We're going to be getting into this. We're going to have to make this sapling, which is going to be a little bit of blood with a dead bush that we're going to have to, I guess, make somehow. We'll figure it out. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.